Hello, everyone. This is Howard Fox, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series, the podcast that celebrates individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. Don Sharpe is our guest today. He is the VP of Resort Operations for Holiday Trails Resorts. He oversees 3 RV resorts, a water park, and Manning Park, all in beautiful British Columbia. All of these stunning locations offer guests unparalleled experiences for campers and outdoor enthusiasts. Don, it is a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Excellent. And I have to share, as I was researching to get ready for this program, and I'm looking at the website, and I'm thinking, how cool would it be to be on one of, say, your cabins? Because I like to sit out on porches with a cup of coffee and
Yep.
do my podcast from there. I think that'd be pretty darn cool. So we may have to talk about that. But tell
Yeah,
us a
come on
little
up.
bit. Tell us a little bit about, Holiday Trails RV Resorts.
Been in existence for about 41 years. Kevin Demers and his family have owned them for that period of time. Over the course of all of the years, he's opened and closed a number and bought and sold a number of different RV resorts. Currently, at this point, we have 3 what we class as premium RV resorts in British Columbia, one on Vancouver Island, one in the interior at Sunshine Valley, and then another one close to Chilliwack called Camperland.
Okay. Now, an RV resort, and I've seen, here in the US, hopefully soon to be a suburb of Canada, if all goes well. Uh, I don't know. That was me being just a little bit political. Uh, we have RV parks where a family, I'm thinking my niece and her husband and their kids, they have their fifth wheel that they go through a pull through camp spot. They hook up and they stay there for the weekend and then go back home.
Yep.
How would you describe for our listeners what these RV resorts are? What is it that makes them similar, or maybe there's a whole different definition for you guys?
The what makes an RV park slash resort either or? A park is basically a spot where you go and set up and spend the weekend. There's no amenities available for you. A
Mhm.
resort, all of our resorts have pools. All of our resorts have washroom buildings. All of our resorts have laundromats. They
Mhm.
have playgrounds. They have games areas. So there's more to do at an RV resort versus an RV park. Normally, that's normally the description and the definition that's used.
Okay. Okay. Now, I want to come back to the parks themselves, but I'm also curious about your background. What does it mean to be the VP of Resort Operations? You got a big job there.
Uh, it's kind of it this wasn't where my pathway was headed.
Mhm.
I worked for a company on Vancouver Island called Mount Washington Alpine Resort for 17 years as the director of business operations.
Okay.
And long story short is ended up meeting Kevin and who was operating these multiple mounts of resorts, who owned these resorts, and we hit it off. And so we moved off of the island, Vancouver Island, and moved into the mainland of British Columbia. And it's sort of evolved over the course of the past 8 years, where I was not really responsible for the ski area, but took over the responsibility for the overall area of Manning Park Resort, and then also having responsibility for all the businesses that Kevin owns and operates.
Okay. And how many other professionals are responsible for helping you keep this business up and running?
Each of our locations has a general manager in them. So
Okay.
so there's 3 RV resorts have a general manager, as well as the water park and Manning Park Resort. Manning Park Resort really stands on its own. It is a separate entity from the Holiday Trails resorts, but each resort has its own management team, general manager and or a management team at each location. And each one of those ones will come back to me and will help move the resorts along.
Okay. Now, with the resorts, your folks are coming and there's a lot of amenities. So it sounds like this really is more than just a weekend getaway. On average, or
It
is there
tends
a
to be. Yeah.
typical demographic of how long are people staying?
It depends. Some folks will come and spend 2 weeks here. Some will come and spend the weekends. Others will, as you get older, you tend to try and find the softer times. So we do get midweek business from
Mhm.
guests who are a little bit older. We do have opportunities for long-term stays as well. So in the wintertime specifically, sort of from October till May, we allow people to spend the winter here. And we have full hookups. So there's water, sewer, and power at every one of our locations.
Okay. By the way, when I saw the long-term, opportunities and, the cabins, I'm thinking, how good is your Wi-Fi connection there? Because maybe I could do my podcasting and my coaching from one of these, properties. Just something to think
You know,
about there.
the craziest thing that I've found in the past 5 years is that the number one amenity that people seek is the one thing that you would think that they wouldn't seek, which is Wi-Fi, good
Really.
Wi-Fi.
Well,
It's the number
it's
one
interesting.
request.
Yeah,
We've been enhancing all of our parks. We've been adding all the infrastructure to make it better. It's basically a utility like power, sewer, water, Wi-Fi. One of those
right.
ones you got to have all four.
After a full day on the water park and the trails and the swimming, people wanna come back and just watch some movies, so they have to have that Wi-Fi connection to be able to stream.
You bet.
I noticed too that the parks, is it a combination of providing, uh, c RVs and cabins for the guest, or is it and they can bring their own, or are you finding most people they wanna come to the park because the bed, the kitchen is right there for them?
We provide at Camperland and at Sunshine Valley Resort. We have cabins, and so we
Okay,
have six at Camperland and 10 at Sunshine Valley. So in that case, people are coming for somewhat of a different experience. Maybe they're coming somebody who has an RV and then they want to spend the weekend with them, but they don't have their own to be able to use it. So the cabins have worked well for that.
okay,
Or if you're looking for a cabin experience where you're just looking to go away for a week and that's what your vacation time is. We also have RVs for rent. So we've been buying RVs, putting them on site, building decks, putting fully stocking. So if you wanted to have the RV experience without actually owning an RV, then you can come and rent one from us over the course of whatever time you want. So that's really grown for us in the last 5 years. And each year we add more RVs for rent at our locations.
okay. Now, I think I saw in one of the photos on one of the pages, a big fifth wheel, and I know just from talking to other, folks that do RVing, a lot of them are in the digital nomad life, uh,
Mhm.
style with the husband and wife, sometimes husband and wife plus children. I know I don't want to, be responsible for a fifth wheel because those look really complicated and dangerous. So I like the fact that, you could say, "Howard, we have one for you and fully stocked and it's ready to go."
Yeah.
So
I think it's
what
also it's a good test product for people who are thinking about buying an RV. If you want to
exactly.
try it, you want to experience it, go try one for a week and then go spend your big bucks on buying one.
Actually, I think that is very wise advice because I couldn't imagine spending money. If they're not cheap, and I want to know how comfortable I am. Can I see myself spending a lot of time here? Because I have this vision of literally doing what I do anywhere in the world or in the US or North America. That's a possibility.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
What is unique about each one of the properties? So the Camperland, Sunshine Valley, Country Maples, and the water park in Manning. What makes each one of these unique, and what are the kind of the big experiences there? of each?
Sunshine Valley. So we'll start off with Sunshine Valley. Sunshine Valley is about 2 hours away from Vancouver. So to put it in perspective for your listeners, that's how far they travel to get to it.
Mhm.
It has about 100 sites. It's set in the mountains. So basically it is a mountain resort. So you're surrounded by the British Columbia Rocky Mountains.
Mhm.
The other thing with that location is you can ATV directly from your site, or you can snowmobile directly from your site in the wintertime. All of the cabins have wood fireplaces. It's a very unique winter environment, but it also has an indoor pool, 2 indoor hot tubs, and an outdoor pool and an outdoor hot tub that's open in the summertime. A fitness center, a banquet room, a laundromat, a store. So it's got everything sort of in that mountain environment. You're basically 15 minutes away from Hope, BC, where they shot Rambo.
Mm.
And then that's where the location is. So you're close to everything, but you're in the mountains.
Okay.
The Country Maples on the island is you are basically, it's Vancouver Island. So you have to take a ferry to get to the island from Vancouver or from Seattle.
Great.
And it takes you to the island, and we are 15 minutes from, not even, maybe 15 minutes from the ocean. So there's water activities there, but it's also a very beautiful. It's my favorite location in terms of beauty. It's set in down a road in a rainforest with a big river down at the bottom of the park. But it's just a gorgeous location with tons of trees and lots for the kids to do, and
Okay.
and a swimming pool as well. And then Camperland is more of your urban park. We're about 15 minutes away from Chilliwack, or an hour away from Vancouver. And it has all of the amenities, including our water park, which is right next door to the campground, which operates independently, but is the same company.
Mhm.
So we have 2 pools, 2 hot tubs, playgrounds, a laundromat, store, games room for the kids. So lots and lots of fun things to do. And my understanding, well, through research that's been done in the US and Canada, people in RVs tend to drive an hour to an hour and a half away from their home. So we're set in a pretty sweet location here at Camperland, where we have 300 sites and we're only an hour away from Vancouver.
Mm. So really, your target audience, your niche, is in the Vancouver vicinity or the Vancouver Island vicinity.
Right. Pacific Northwest on the island, and then
Okay.
Vancouver for the 2 other locations.
Okay. It's a question, and I don't know the answer to this, but will folks say take a ferry with some type of camper, maybe a different class camper, and come to from say from the US? Is that a possibility, or they
Yes.
just? Oh, it is.
Yes. 100%. No, it totally is. And they can come through, and I can't remember the name of the port, but it's just off of, so you come through Seattle,
Okay.
and there's a port that takes you into Victoria
Okay.
on the island.
Okay. So they're really going to go to the Victoria property. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. If you wanted to, you can come through Vancouver and go into the mountains, which is where we are as well. Or you come through Vancouver and go to the island. That's the other way to go. But you
Okay.
can go on the ferry with your camper.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Something that jumped
Yeah.
out at me when you were mentioning maybe it was Country Maples, the resort that's kind of up in the mountains, the beautiful views. Do you get a
That's
lot of
Sunshine Valley.
folks?
Yeah.
Sunshine Valley. Do you get a lot of folks coming to the site for like a wedding, a big family gathering, anything like events like that?
We do, and we actually, in retrospect, it was a great thing to do, and we thought for a while it was what really overbuilt our facility that we built there, but we have a banquet room with a catering kitchen that seats about 110 to 120 people.
Oh, wow.
So you can do a full family reunion and full banquet, be stayed in your RVs and or stayed in our 10 cabins. So we have 5 cabins that are 1 bedrooms, 5 that are 2 bedrooms. And we also have tenting at each of our locations as well. So you can bring tents up, but there's a full banquet room there as well, which we use quite often,
Wow. I,
and
I
have
am like,
beautiful weddings in there. Yeah.
I can imagine. I can imagine. By the way, for my listeners and for you, I did have to go and search on photos of British Columbia. That's my backdrop. So I wanted you to know I was trying to
Good.
be in the vicinity virtually with you.
Yeah. It
Um,
looks like you're close.
Okay. I am curious, and maybe this is other people care about this, but when you kind of are preparing to hook up or create a new camp site, new operation, or maybe on a day-to-day, year annual basis, how much interactions do you have, say, with local governments, the utilities in terms of, things you want to do to get up and running, or, you need to have, some more sewer connections and electrical because you're expanding to add, 10 more units. How does that work for you guys?
It definitely creates challenges when you're dealing with the bureaucracy of having to do those sorts of things. We have had pretty good success. Most of it, and I really believe this, comes down to the relationships that you have with your local governments, and we do a lot of work to be a part of that process and not cause problems and do what's right. So whenever we expand, I mean, there's always timelines. That's the challenge: is how long, as a business, you want to move forward really quickly,
Right.
and everybody else not wanting to go as quick as you want to go. So you have to really sort of temper your speed on how you move forward. But for the most part, our application, put in an application to do whatever we want to do, and then we have some conversation. It's been approved, and we move forward with it. But for the most part, it's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, it just the big thing going on here in in again the suburb, the hopefully future suburb of Canada, is people are starting these RV parks that are geared towards the elderly, because I imagine, like Canada, housing has gotten very expensive, and
Hmm.
folks of a certain economic level are being priced out of even renting because they can't afford it. But I think these RV parks are a wonderful way to have a great living experience plus have community, which is very important. I'm
Right.
curious, with the variety of the sites that you have, and I was just reading an article, Don, recently about wilderness, getting out in nature, and mental health. And I'm
100%.
curious about some of the experiences you or your team is hearing, perhaps from guests. Maybe they sent you an email, or, the sites have after almost every experience, we get an email that says, "Would you please rate the site? Give us, stars and tell us what you liked." What's your sense of people's experiences of why places like this that Holiday Trails is offering are so special?
I think it's really a chance to reconnect with your family. I mean, I think it's kind of I find it ironic that people are really, on average, only traveling an hour away from their home to go to a different location, pay to be here versus paying just staying at home. But it really is. It gives you a chance to reconnect, right? You're basically all in one location. You're eating dinner together instead of the kids going off and doing whatever. And it contradicts that whole Wi-Fi thing we talked about just a few minutes ago. Is that, if everybody is on their devices for the whole time they're here, then they haven't done that reconnect thing. But I think that's a different there's differences, and you can see it when you walk around the park. And specifically, I can tell you, at all of our locations, the amount of kids that we have coming with their families, we are on a busy weekend. It's really a challenge to even drive your vehicle through the sites to get back to your location where you're going to, because there's so many kids,
Oh, wow.
so many bikes, so many people having family time. And you get a good vibe from all that. It's a lot of fun. And having the water park right next door drives that family traffic as well. So that people are bringing their kids, because that our water park is really geared towards 4-year-old to 12-year-old. It's not the high energy adrenaline park that you might see at a bigger location, but it's fun for the little kids. And so families come here for that. So there's lots of opportunity for families to come and enjoy it. And I think that's really that reconnection of, this is why we're here, is because we want to be together.
Okay.
And we
Do you
have had guests. I mean, those are the comments. Yeah. As going back to what you asked about, our guests send us multiple comments all the time, all summer, some with suggestions on how we could be better, which is great. We want to hear
Okay.
that. but also a lot of thank you so much for providing that opportunity for us to do our family thing.
Okay. That brings up another question is what percentage of your guests that are coming into any one of the properties are repeat year after year or generation?
I don't have that number for you. I don't, but I know it's a lot. We
Okay.
see people coming back year after year, and people wait and look for the opportunity to book that weekend that they can't. This is my weekend. I got to come up or my week or my 2 weeks, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And we do see that. I just don't know how many,
Okay.
but it feels like a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, and I did not mean that as a gotcha kind of question, but it dawned on me that you have to have people coming up year after year. And I would also
Yeah.
imagine there's a particular cabin that is most special to them or a particular site that it's just the perfect site.
Uh, you
Yeah.
bet. Yeah. We see that a lot in Manning Park, at the ski area.
Yeah.
People create a tradition mostly around Christmas time. They create a Christmas tradition, and I think we're essentially sold out for the next 2 years at Christmas time because people book that far in advance to get that week that they want.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I was kind of playing around on your search tool for the cabin that I could stay for, 6 months, and it was book, book, book. I was like, okay, somebody's gotten there before me. By the way, put that cup back up for a second.
Yeah.
Get that cup back up.
Yeah.
All right, we got Timmy's. I love it. See, I'm a coffee guy, and I mean that's the pleasure of Canada is Tim's. I only have
This
my
is a Canada
mug.
coffee. Yeah.
It's yeah, right. Um, what's for you and your family? What is special about these places for you, and how do you get to unwind? I mean, you're in this beautiful location, British Columbia, but then you've got these great properties.
Well, I'll go back in time a little bit. We, my kids, I have my wife and I have three children that are all grown adults now, but they grew up skiing and snowboarding. And so I would bring them to work with me every day, and they would go out, and I'd bring them home at the end of the day, every weekend, every holiday. They developed a passion for snow sports. So I can relate really well to those families when I go to Manning Park, when I'm there and you see the families pulling in with their vehicle of 5 people all together, all getting out, putting the gear on, the excitement about going out to go skiing and snowboarding, the excitement about being on the snow, the excitement about being together as a family. So that that for me translates even into the RV resorts because it's not just one person doesn't come and do this by themselves. They come as a group. They come as a family. They come with other people. So there's always that experience of bringing things together. For me, that's really the exciting part because I was able to experience that with my family. So I understand it when I see it from the others. So we look at how do we make it easier for them? How do we make sure that have a good time when they get here? How do we make it affordable? How do we add the amenities that we want to that people are asking for? So I think it's really just for me seeing people coming together and having fun.
That's excellent. And what's your plan kind of looking out into the future? I mean, it's, in my mind, you've got a really cool job. I mean, there's anytime you have a lot of moving parts that comes with its challenges, but
Yep.
where do you see your journey taking you? Is it going to stay doing this work or
Well,
helping or
I'm very fortunate. I think I'm very fortunate to be where I am right now. Kevin Demers, who's the owner of the company, um, has and is probably the best person that I've ever worked for in terms of like the ability to do the things that I think are important, and he gives me the opportunity to do that, and I enjoy working with and for him. Um, the company itself, I think we're pretty solid with our 3 RV resorts now. Each of the managers that are in those locations have well over 10 years of experience, so that makes my job a lot easier because I've got lots of experience. The management team at Manning Park has evolved to a point now where they're solid and they're moving forward in a positive way, and things are happening there.
Mhm.
We've got lots of opportunity at Manning Park Resort to grow the business and to develop it into a more sophisticated style of resort. We're at it. We're in the process right now of working with a company called Canna Wave Co. and building a surf park at the water park. So that
Mm.
will open up this summer. So those are exciting times for us, as it adds a new element to the water park. So from my perspective, I'm here till I'm not,
All right. Well,
and
that's good.
excited.
That's good.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. Uh, what role did you have, say, in the development of your website? Because it's a pretty cool website. You got good photos, good navigation. Uh, I was going to put you on the spot by asking you if you'd like to take us for a tour of the website, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do that. Maybe there was somebody else who was better uh, suited for that. But
I
what's that experience been with the website?
so we had when I first came on board 8 years ago, we had a very basic, not a lot of development to the website. So we basically rebuilt it, came up with what the title should be, what the drop down should look like, how we wanted it to flow. And that we changed that, or I changed that probably within the first year of being on board with Holiday Trails. And that we operated with that site for about 5 years. And last year, last year we changed it again, which was
Okay.
what you see now,
Okay.
to be much more internet intuitive, and all the things that you want to be able to do to be able to flow properly and make sure that you're at the top of the search engines and all those types of things. So that this website you're looking at now is only a year old. So it's
o-
very, very brand new, and we're still working through some of the kinks on it, but it's worked out pretty good for us.
Okay. And is the experience of going out there to visit the site and doing for the potential guest, is that really helping to facilitate? Because in some cases that's the first time they've gotten to know you in a
That's right.
way. So
Yeah.
how are you hearing about? What are you hearing about that experience?
Very positive, actually. I mean, the big thing I think was really making the photos, making sure the photos were good, and that's a challenge, trying to get pictures of things that will make sense to people who have never been there before, and or I want to go. If I don't, I think you probably navigated your way through what a cabin looks like.
Right.
Putting a floor plan in there, putting the pictures in there, giving you an opportunity to see what it looks like. At Manning Park, we've actually done full on VR video of the the rooms. So we had a drone fly through the cabin that gives you a picture of what you're looking at, and
Okay.
it gives you that virtual, sort of like the real estate one, where you walk through each room and you click through the button and go to the different rooms. But it was to give people a sense of, here's what you're going to get, here's what you're paying for, here's what you're going to see before you ever get there. So at least you have some sense of what you're paying for.
Okay. So
And
I
and,
am going to
and,
put
it, and it's never,
myself on the spot, and I'm going to put you on the spot because we're in this together, Don. Is I'm going to share my screen because I think it's a cool site, so I want to share it. Uh,
yeah,
all right. So we should, with the miracle of modern technology, let me get rid of.
there you go.
We are looking at the site.
Yep.
So Holiday Trails, nice logo. I mean, you had me at the mountain. I love the map, by
Yeah.
the way. I think that's pretty cool. By the way, I spent a lot of time in Victoria, and had I
Oh, good.
not done that, you and I would not be chatting right now. We'll leave it at that. But a beautiful place. As we scroll down, what are we looking at? We got nice photos here.
Yeah, Camperland, you'll see the pool, Sunshine Valley, a little bit of snow, country maples, just big trees in behind. And then the motel is part of Camperland. It's right next door to Camperland. So if
Okay.
we run out of space in our cabins, people do spend time in the motel.
Okay. Very good. Now let's go to that virtual page. Was where was that
That'd
again?
be on Manning.
Manning.
That's at Manning Park, I think.
Okay. Um, okay, let's
You
get to
yeah, keep
Manning.
scrolling down. It should be come up with a link to Manning.
Okay. Well, there we
Hopefully it'll work.
go.
There
Okay.
you go.
Ooh, look at that. So click learn more.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that logo there, the bear claw.
There you go. Keep scrolling, VR tour,
Oh wow. Look
and then
at
go to
that.
cabins.
Cabins. Let's do a standard cabin. Let's do premium. Let's do premium.
Sure. We
Look at
just
that.
opened 6 new premium cabins this winter.
Oh wow. Okay.
So there you go.
So
Then if you click on the little dots at the bottom there, you'll see that it'll just take you to the room that you're going to.
okay, the dot.
Yeah, there you go. Dots on the bottom.
Okay. Oh, there's
That's
your
a
banquet
deluxe
hall.
cabin.
Wow.
There's a banquet room. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, very cool.
So we're essentially Manning Park does a lot of weddings, and we're working towards doing more meetings, conferences, catering, and it's become a real going product for us.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
I love this. And then if you want to book your stay,
Yep.
you've got the
Gives you all the options
rooms.
that we have. Yep. How people
O-
sleeps, and then you can go there.
Okay. So I'm curious, single guy like me, I want to do my podcasting and my coaching with Wi-Fi. Where are you going to recommend I go?
I would go to standard cabin probably, or to a lodge room,
Okay, let's do a lodge room.
queen room, or a mini suite. There you
Mini
go. Top.
suite. Let's
Yeah.
do mini suite. Okay, we'll select that. Then I've got some photos. Okay. Oh, by the way, I have to be able to sit outside with my morning coffee, my morning cup of Tim's. Where am I going to go?
Ooh, you might have to stay somewhere else then.
Okay, yeah, that's important for me. I'm a outdoor porch in the morning and evening kind of guy. So where would I go?
You want to go to a cabin then?
Okay, standard
Standard
premium.
cabin. Yeah, go to a standard cabin, and then you can
Okay,
sit outside.
okay, that's very important to me. Okay, why am I back here? Okay, I got it now. Okay, I see the dots. All right, there we go. There's my little bench there for coffee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I love it. I love it. Well, very cool. I mean, it's a very cool website, and
yeah,
I love the navigation. And what I love here is because I was preparing yesterday, I would normally we'll share the website in a second, but the fact each site has its own web page,
yeah,
Instagram, and Facebook. I thought this was pretty cool. You get to see the Google map, like, okay, how do I get here? Okay.
yeah.
So just for the heck of it, I'm going to put Las Vegas, Nevada, because that's where I live. Let's see what happens. Okay. 19 hours. I think I can do it.
I was going to say
All
about 20 hours.
right. I think you and I might be having a conversation. All
All
right.
right.
Okay. I love that. Excellent. Well, thank you for taking us on that tour. Let me stop sharing. Um,
No problem.
Yeah, I think it's just I love these resorts. I love the fact that, it's more than just this weekend pass, bring your fifth wheel, pass through, and then you're gonna go back home. But, this is you know, some of us have 1, 2 week vacations in the year. We want to make the most of it. And this look definitely those
Yep.
properties are a great way to do that and maybe even spend more time if that's available. So
Yeah, and I think having more to do is really what we're trying to offer is more than just you pull in and you set up and that's all you do. So there's things for families, there's things for kids. Our management team and the people that work with us care about our guests, so they're actually
mhm.
make an effort to do whatever they can to make the experience even better, and we're going to keep doing that.
Excellent, excellent. Don, if just as for our guest, anything else that you would like, or for our listeners, I should say, that you would like to share with them about why they should be considering, Holiday Trails RV resorts?
Well, I guess it comes back to the fact that we have amenities, we have the ability to provide an awesome experience, whether it's for an overnight experience in some cases where people are traveling through, or if we want to spend more time, and we've got the opportunity to do that. Like as you showed through the website, to be able to make a booking very easily, you can do it all online. You don't have to call us and try and get through a phone system, so it can be done online. And yeah, we love having our guests here, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Very good. I love it. I love it. Now, please, if you would, where should our listeners go to learn more about Holiday Trails RV resorts?
www.holidaytrailsresorts.com or
All right.
manningpark.com.
Fantastic. Well, we will provide the backlinks to Holiday Trails Resorts.com and Manning Trails, as well as we'll have the links to the Camperland, Sunshine, and Country Maples, as well as
Appreciate
the
that.
links to the social sites. Don, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. Uh, I'm thinking, someday I want to have a cup of Tim's with you out on a porch somewhere and get to know more about you and the work you and your team are doing. So thank you for sharing time with us today.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
All right, stay on the line. We're going to do a quick close and you and I can have a final chat. All right, folks, we've just been chatting with Don Sharpe, VP of Resort Operations for Holiday Trails Resorts. Uh, Beautiful properties up in beautiful British Columbia. I've never been to Vancouver, but I have been to Victoria. That's a whole other story about why this is, if not for Victoria, you and I would not be on this call today and you would not be listening to this podcast. So it does play a very important place in my heart. But frankly, I want to get back there just to kind of take advantage of these wonderful resorts. Now, again, we're going to provide backlinks to the sites on our show notes. And I'm also going to twist Don's arm a little bit because I'd love to get some photos of these resorts so we can make a couple of collages for the website as well. I did warn Don I was going to ask him for that, so that's a gotcha for him. Um, if you enjoyed this episode, or if you want to learn more, visit our website at outdooradventureseries.com. We're also on LinkedIn and Facebook on our Outdoor Adventure Series pages. The episode will also be posted up on YouTube, and you'll be able to see the not only our conversation together, but Don walking us through a little bit of the website. And of course, wherever you listen to your podcast, just do a search for Outdoor Adventure Series and do let us know what you thought of today's episode. And of course, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day. Again, Happy New Year. And we look forward to having you join us for a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast.